Could DePins be one of the biggest upcoming narratives in the crypto space? Guys, today we're going to be talking about the DePin movement and one of the biggest DePin projects I recently just got into, IOTX. Now, a lot of people are not really familiar with the DePin space, and honestly, I wasn't too familiar until about a week ago when Will from Because Bitcoin talked to me about it and everything, and he showed me the space and why it's going to do well, et cetera, and today I'm making a video on it. So let's first take a look at the big DePin coin that I recently just got into called IOTX. And as you can see on the year, it's had a decent year, but if you take a look at the month, in the last month, it's up 36%, and it recently had a big run-up. So it had a massive run-up on December 4th, and then it's cooled down. So I just bought in literally yesterday. So I bought in the cool down, and it's looking like it's making, a lower high, which is good to see, a massive run-up. And then, of course, it's coming down, and this is given, right now it's kind of consolidating, it looks like, and it's really looking prime for another breakout at some point, as long as, the market continues to move. I think when Bitcoin consolidates, we're going to see the alts move up even higher. That's normally what happens with the liquidity flow in the space and everything. But right now, IOTX is sitting at about 3 cents. It currently has the 140th largest market cap in all of crypto at $315 million. Now, what is IOTX? Starting as an open source project in 2017, IOTX has been built a decentralized platform whose aim is to empower the open economies for machines, an open ecosystem where people and machines can interact with guaranteed trust, free will, and under properly designed economic incentives. They have a global team with over 40 research scientists and engineers. IOTX has built their EVM-compatible blockchain from scratch using the innovative rolled DPoS consensus and launched in 2019 April, which has been running by 100 plus delegates worldwide, and it's processed more than 10 million transactions, blah, 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 blah. As it says down here, besides middleware such as decentralized identity, confidential computing, and secure hardware has been built on top of the IOTX EX blockchain. This has enabled the creation of self-sovereign devices such as UCAM and real-world data oracles like Pebble. Now, what makes IOTX unique? IOTX is the decentralized backbone for machine economics, which serves machines ranging from smart home devices to autonomous vehicles. So this is really, getting into the physical world and all that stuff, which I think is pretty cool. And to this end, IOTX has built and launched a fast, high-performance, and EVM-compatible blockchain that provides flexibility and scalability for various applications. Now let's take a look at this article from Cointelegraph called Navigating DePin, Emerging Trends and Growth Opportunities. DePin, or Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks, is gaining traction in the Web3 industry, promising to leverage a blockchain, Internet of Things, and physical infrastructure for the common good of participants. So it's basically taking the real world, physical things, and combining it with the blockchain and, the internet world and all that shit. So they had a little info, as it says, Cointelegraph asked, DePin is expected to be one of the biggest trends in the near future. Could you please explain its significance and what it actually represents? And here is what the co-founder of IOTX had to say. DePin is transforming how we build and maintain real-world infrastructure by adding the power of the internet and blockchain. It's the next stage in the evolution of the Internet of Things, providing much broader access and governance to participants. And at IOTX, we're believers in the ideas that the infrastructure of the future should be open, permissionless, and built by as many network participants as possible. And they're also saying DePin is an ideal example of a fair sharing economy, which allows individuals and companies to build and deliver services while earning financial benefits and ownership shares through token incentives and in global marketplaces 24/7. So it's pretty cool what they're trying to do. They're actually trying to bring, the blockchain to the real world and all that. And I like that. I like real world things. All right, now let's take a look at the Twitter. On their Twitter, they have 229,000 followers, and in their bio, as it says here, real world arrow thing with Web3. So they're combining the real world with Web3. That is the big narrative. The big narrative is really real world. IOTX is a Web3 platform that connects smart devices to blockchain dApps. And here is where things get pretty fucking bullish. So as we know, built on Ethereum and everything. But take a look at this. Very recently, IOTX's web stream has integrated with Solana. I've been saying this for the last couple months, but guys, Ethereum at this point is a rock. Ethereum has the most liquidity, but is not going to pump as hard as Solana. And the Ethereum ecosystem won't pump as hard either. That's the honest truth. The infrastructure tools in Ethereum will not nowhere near pump as hard as the infrastructure tools in Solana. That's just Ethereum has a much higher market cap, and honestly, it's a dog shit chain. You can make a lot of money, but it's a terrible chain. I mean, the gas fees are ridiculous. And as it says here, they integrated recently with Solana, and Solana has been on fire lately. Solana right now is sitting at $72. And you guys got to remember, just a couple months ago, it was sitting at around 20 bucks. Okay? This thing is going to absolutely run. I believe Solana will easily crush $500, and I think it could potentially hit $1,000 at the top. Might sound crazy, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think it could very well happen. I don't see why not, especially because Ethereum ran from about literally like $80 to $5,000 from 2020 to 2021. I don't see why it can't happen with something like Solana. And of course, this is extremely bullish, as it says developers can now harness real world data and build DePIN dApps that impact everyday lives. Here's what this integration means. So as it's, it shows a little bit of Solana. It talks about WebStream can now transmit on-chain proofs to Solana, reaching a broader user base. Solana scalability, low cost, and innovations like compressed NFTs make it exciting space for DePIN. And it goes over basically how Solana is going to help the DePIN movement forward. And this is very bullish. Solana is a very active user base. Once again, it's pumping, and they're now in the ecosystem. So they're now part of the Solana ecosystem. So when Solana pumps really hard, a lot of that liquidity after Solana is done pumping is going to flood into the ecosystem and projects like this. And also, big Solana influencers like Ansem have been talking about DePins. They're starting to shill DePins. He's been talking about it in the past couple of weeks, and he's referencing projects like IOTEX. Okay? The Solana ecosystem, I think DePIN will end up being one of the biggest narratives for it. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Now, take a look at this. Here is the DePIN landscape. So for newcomers and experts alike, this map is a gateway into the ins and out in the rapidly evolving DePIN ecosystem. So take a look at this. You have physical resource, DePIN module, blockchain, digital resource, and this is really showing the entire DePIN ecosystem. Let's take a look at is there any projects we recognize? You can see we have wallets, we have MetaMask, Helium. Helium is part of the DePIN thing, which is pretty interesting. If you guys remember the Helium mining scheme that went on last cycle. So we're just going to go through this thread. I'm learning a lot about DePins, and we're going to be learning together here. So I'm just really going to read off this shit. So yeah, DePIN modules. The modular stack empowers developers to plug and play customized infrastructure networks tailored to their specific use cases. Blockchain. The blockchain layer facilitates underlying functions. Shout out them. They're using ChatGPT for this, I can tell. Including token settlement, rewards, and data composability. Physical resource networks. PRNs focus on the deployment of physical devices. Sorry, I'm really tired, guys. Sensors and hotspots designed to provide infrastructure capabilities and transmit valuable data. Specific devices. These DePIN projects design purpose-built devices for exact use cases. I'm going to take a look at this. You have, let's see, is there anything we recognize? I don't really recognize anything on here. They have Wi-Fi, 5G, location, smart city, environmental mapping, energy, mobility. And we can keep going on. Bring your own device. This is pretty interesting. Sensors, wireless. I'm not going to read through all these. And then digital resource networks. Over here, you can see there's databases. So this is a pretty cool stuff. But now let's go to something. Of course, guys, the reason why we're jumping in here, let's just keep it a buck. Most people are not jumping in the IOTX for the tech. They're jumping in because they just partner with Solana. There's hype around. There's a solid narrative. And we're trying to make money off these cryptocurrencies. And if you take a look at this right here, what is the max supply of IOTX? It's 10 billion coins. What is the circulating supply? 9.4 billion. 94.42% of all the coins of IOTX is in circulation, which means the coins, the inflation is not going to be there. Okay? The crypto money printer for IOTX is very minimal. You're not going to get diluted that hard. I mean, only 6% left, less than 6% left. That's fucking amazing. A lot of people do not take a look at this. What are the vesting schedules? When these fucking projects unlock more tokens, that's not bullish for the token price. As you can see here, pretty much almost all the tokens are out there. So I think there is going to end up being a massive squeeze on this thing. We saw in the past month, this thing ran from about 3 cents all the way up to almost, it's made its way up to 5 cents. It's now come back down to 3 cents once again. And I think this thing is going to absolutely run. It's going to. Of course, with a lot of these altcoins, it's probably going to be in the same boat as every other altcoin where it's going to, the market's very hot right now, but eventually we're going to see it cool off and we're going to consolidate again. But I think when things get red hot, we're going to see, as you can see back in 2021, I think we're going to see a massive, massive green candle from this thing. I think it is going to squeeze very hard. And also, once again, there was no DePIN fucking narrative back in 2021. It was not a thing. The big narratives in 2021 were like fucking L1s, L2s a bit. DePins, I think, could become a huge narrative, especially with Solana being red hot, the ecosystem's red hot, the Solana, all the infrastructure tokens, all pumping. I think DePin, and once again, a lot of the big influencers are talking about this shit. Okay, you have to pay attention to those things. And that's the thing. I see a lot of, really good signals from this. Tokenomics are looking very good. We're not going to be getting diluted. There's a strong narrative. There's an upcoming narrative. Influencers are talking about it. They're making good integrations. I mean, going to Solana is amazing. That is the move. The upside is in Solana. Let's take a look at this. And we have a little video here that we are not going to play today because that is the end of our video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the DePIN movement. I'm very excited. Once again, not financial advice, so you're in research. But I'm fairly confident that in the next 2 years, we're going to see this thing absolutely run. But guess we're just going to have to see what happens. And also, go follow me on X. Link in the description. I'm most active there. And thank you for watching.